Hi, welcome to ETTV. I'm Bill Burt. This is Burt Talk Sports, and we're Game 3 of a new segment here in the NBA Finals called the Jeff Nelson Report. Jeff, welcome.
Thanks, Bill.
Jeff is a scout, NBA scout with the Utah Jazz. He lives in Bradford. He's coached basketball. He gives lessons. Probably one of the key basketball gurus in the area. And we've had Jeff in after each game and before the series. I guess, as I said to you off camera, nothing surprises me in this series. Some good, probably a little more bad. Your overall thoughts of Game 3?
Well, the Celtics need to find a way to get Paul Pierce going because he's had 3 bad games in a row. I think, you know, when I scout for Utah, one of the top things we'd always try to address is dealing with Paul Pierce because he's always had big games against us. So, you know, the fact that he hasn't played well at, you know, neither end of the floor has been, got to be a concern for the Celtics.
You mentioned Pierce. First 2 games, you could argue that some of his problems were Ron Artest. That really wasn't an issue yesterday. Maybe a topic of discussion, and we heard the 2 coaches allude to it in some way, the refereeing. The Stars, every night the Celtics, Doc said it yesterday, he's had a star, one of the big 3, out, basically out of action. What are your thoughts of that?
I mean, it seems like the games have been refereed inconsistently. You know, I mean, they let a lot go. You don't really know what is a foul and what is, you know, not a foul. I mean, it's been ticky-tack fouls at sometimes, and then just don't really seem to have, the games don't have a good flow to them. There always seem to be, you know, 2 or 3 possessions and a whistle, and there's no up and down action like we're used to in the regular season. So, you know, I think the refereeing definitely has been a factor with putting people on the bench. And, you know, like Game 2, Kobe had 5 fouls and had to come out to start the 4th quarter. So I think that makes a big difference.
Interesting, because I think the pace, and this is my opinion, the pace of these games is suited to the Celtics. I think these 80s and low 90s, these are the games that the Celtics are technically used to winning. That's the good news. The bad news is Ray Allen couldn't, you know, went from being a Hall of Famer, which he is, to couldn't make a shot. Pierce struggled. Garnett, obviously, we saw some good things out of him. So we're seeing, you know, we're sort of seeing the game the Celtics want to play, except probably not scoring enough.
Prior to the series, I spoke with Clifford Ray, who's the big man coach for the Celtics, and he basically said it comes down to little things. You know, who's going to give the right help defense, who's going to make shots, who's going to come up with what they call 50-50 loose balls. And last night the Celtics didn't do it. You know, the game before they made all the big plays the last 6 minutes of the game. Last night they could never get the stops down the stretch. They could never really free up Ray to get any good shots. You know, little things like, you know, Ray should know better being the veteran that he is. Get to the basket, get yourself fouled, take 4 or 5 foul shots to get your stroke going. And he got away from that. I mean, obviously the Lakers get a lot of credit for their defense and taking him out of the game, but you know, the Celtics are going to have to do a better job getting the loose balls, clearing the boards late in the game, getting stops. They just, you know, Doc's always yelling in the timeout, get stops, and then they couldn't get it every time it got to 2 that they would score. They had to stop the Lakers to get the lead or tie, and they could never stop them.
It's funny, Jeff, the one thing we talk about, and you're a coach, and it's a simple thing, the pick and roll.
Sure.
And that's really what killed him at the end. It was a simple play. Kobe comes, picks for Fisher, and Doc alluded to it. Fisher made great plays and made the shots, but when Kobe's the picker, you have to stay, you're worried more about Kobe than Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics run the same play with Pierce and Rondo. And at Utah, we switch that all the time. Most teams, well, we can switch it because Darren Williams can guard Paul Pierce. But, you know, the Celtics, instead of switching that pick, they were showing. So Ray Allen would come out and fake and then go back to Kobe because he didn't want to leave Kobe alone. And I think it turned out to be a mistake because Fisher was able to turn the corner, have the ball in his left hand, and get free looks at the basket. So maybe they're going to have to switch that pick. Maybe that's the adjustment they have to make when Fisher turns the corner. Maybe Ray Allen's going to have to take him. Rondo's going to have to switch out, and they're going to have to get help on the weak side.
The one thing I think we got to say is, obviously, I don't think Ray Allen's going to go 0 for 13. The Celtics have guarded Kobe Bryant well, briefly. I
would say, you know, they've done a good job. He's still averaging 30 points a game. I mean, the guy's a great player.
Shooting under 40% though.
Last night he was like 10 for 28 at one stage. I think he's taken some bad shots. I think they've frustrated him and done a good job on him. They did a much better job on Gasol last night. Held him down. They've done a decent job. You know, Artest really hasn't been a factor on offense. But, you know, each game the Lakers have won, somebody stepped up. Same thing with the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics are going to have all their best players, and I think we talked about it before the series, the big three are going to have to play well, and they just haven't yet consistently. And if they put it all together, I think they'll be fine.
All right, Jeff, it's game 4 on Thursday.
Must win for the Celtics.
And then on Sunday, game 5, definitely 2 games here in Boston, but game 4 is the game.
I mean, I believed all along, no matter what happened, who won what game, as long as they could get to 2-2. Now you got a 3-game series. You just got to win 2 out of 3. They get the next one. I think they'll be fine. And then it's 2 out of 3. Anything can happen in those games.
All right, thanks. Good analysis, Jeff. I appreciate it. And we'll see you probably here after game 4 on Friday.
Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.